Darren McGavin. Starring in Mickey Spillane's Mike Hammer.
It had taken me 6 weeks to break the case, and I'd had to spend them in Chinatown to be close to it. Now I was ready to report to my client, and I wasn't anxious to stick around any longer than I had to.
Mike?
Hello, Joey.
Mike, you're really going, huh?
Yeah, well, my job's all finished.
Gee, it was real nice having you at Gus's place.
Yeah, you know, I hate to leave.
Oh, I got a little present for you, Mike. I'm sorry they ain't wrapped up or nothing, but
Where'd you get those, Joey?
Oh, I... Don't you like them, Mike?
Fine, fine.
I used to kind of like a lively tie myself when... Before I... maybe you better not wear them till you get uptown.
Yeah, thanks, Joey.
Is something to kind of remember me by, Mike?
Oh, I won't forget you, Joey.
Yeah, well, I ain't trying to sell them, Mike.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
Thanks. Finn.
Well, you gave me a present. This is from me to you.
Yeah. I guess you could kind of call it maybe a salary, couldn't you, Mike?
Sure.
I did help you, didn't
Absolutely.
I, Mike? I give you leads.
Well, Joey, I couldn't have done it without you.
Thanks, Mike.
Now, look, you spend some of that on food, will you?
Oh, sure,
Yeah, and
Mike.
give a couple of bucks to Gus for rent.
You can trust me, Mike. I'll...
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike.
Okay, and get some food, yeah? A little soup. That's where I made my mistake. I should have given Gus the money to hold for him. But I'd had enough of Gus's place to last a lifetime. Just a little guy hurrying as fast as he could toward the end of the road. A week later, I'd almost forgotten he was alive. Yeah, Hammer. Joey. Well, what... Well, now, wait a minute now, Joey. Take it easy. Well, tonight? Well, no, Joey, I can't. I've got a business appointment. Yeah, Joey, well, listen. Well, tell Gus to give you a couple of bucks, and I'll be down the next day or so to pay him back.
It ain't money, Mike. I'm scared. You'll know what to do.
Well, what kind of trouble are you in? Well, now, Joey... Okay. All right, Joey, I'll be down as soon as I can. I'll meet you at Gus's. Goodbye. Chicky, I've got a small business appointment that I got to take care of. Now, you stick around here and make yourself comfortable, and I'll be back just as soon as I can. Now, don't make any problems for yourself. I was late and Joey was gone. Gus said he'd been too jumpy to sit and wait, but Joey had said he'd be back by 10. He might have forgotten. Or it might have been a lot worse. Not a big place, Chinatown, but a lot of places to look. And then I saw the crowd. They don't come running like that unless they smell blood. They were all asking the same thing. Who did it? Who'd want to shoot him? Who'd want to shoot a bum like Joey? I didn't know any better than they did.
Hello, Pat. Mike? I heard you'd been prowling Chinatown for the last couple of weeks. The case tied in with this?
No connection, Pat.
Joey Stark. Always figured he'd go out with an overdose of canned heat. What do you know about it?
Not a thing. Called me earlier tonight, said he was in trouble.
What kind of trouble?
I don't know. I got here too late.
You gotta do something about this alley. Another killing the night before last in the same place.
Yeah?
Well, maybe you knew.
No, who was it?
Local merchant by the name of Lee Chu. That was a tongue job, I figure. Knife work. We'll never solve it. These people clam up when it's a fraternity affair.
Yeah. Well,
Oh, Mike, Joey was a friend of yours, wasn't he?
yeah, huh?
So I guess you'll be rooting around getting in my way.
Look, Pat, I don't figure that your department's gonna knock themselves out over a poor fallen sparrow like Joey, so
Joey gets an investigation just like anybody else.
Sure he does.
You turn up anything you call me. Understand?
I can never remember your number.
Just ask the operator. Call the coroner.
Hiya, Mike. I was wondering when you'd show. Hey, that's tough about Joey. The cops found out anything?
No, not yet. Then don't hold your breath till they do. He's just one little less nothing for them to worry about.
I guess they're right.
You guess they're right. Gus, Joey thought you were his friend.
Well, yeah, sure. I like Joey. You know that, Mike.
Sure.
Hey, you and me are pretty good buddies, ain't we?
Yeah, sure. I sent all my friends here.
Well, then take a little tip from me. Let this one lie, Mike. Just skip it.
Keep coming, Gus.
Well, this was no ordinary slug and gun. You knew Joey, the way he could drift around like a ghost.
Uh-huh.
Well, I think he's seen something. Something he wasn't supposed to.
Something connected to Lee Chu?
Oh, could be.
Did Joey know Lee Chu?
No, as a matter of fact,
As a matter of fact, what?
when I told Joey about Lee, he said something awful funny.
Uh-huh.
He said, so that's who it was. Now, he must have seen something.
So that's who it was. Did you tell that to the police?
Oh, they ain't been around yet. And that dough you gave Joey a couple of days ago, he went right through that. He's been putting a bite on the rest of us ever since. Hey, and he was getting awful jumpy.
Jumpy, huh? Yeah. Give me his key. I want to look around his room.
Well, he must have took it with him.
All right, I'll kick the door in.
No, you don't have to do that. Here's my pass key.
Take a bath, will you, Gus?
Mike. Mike, you all right? Can you stand up?
Yeah.
Maybe something busted.
No. The only thing that'd be busted is my head, and that's an impossibility.
What happened?
That and I walked into this joint, a couple of goons decked me.
Where'd they go?
Where'd they go? I'll ask you that, Gus.
Must have gone down the fire escape. The guy in the next room heard the noise and called me. You was all alone when I got here. Gee, Mike, I sure am sorry.
You keep crying like that, Gus, and I'll hand you this towel.
So you think they went down the fire escape, huh?
Well, they must have.
How'd they get up here, Gus?
Well, same way, I guess.
You're lying. You know those two goons were up here. What were they doing up here?
I don't know, Mike.
You're lying. You've been lying since everything. I said, how does Lee Chu figure in this?
I don't know.
You don't know, huh? Has he got any relatives?
No.
No? No survivors, huh?
A wife. But I wouldn't bother her. No matter what you think, Mike, I didn't figure the sandbag.
Listen, Gus, you go on back and you tell whoever you're supposed to tell that you tried to tout me off. So you tell them that I said no dice. Stop sweating, Gus. You'll catch your death of cold. Here.
Gus Peters was lying in his teeth, and it didn't make sense. In 5 years, you get to know a man, even a man like Gus Peters. He might be scared, but scared of what? I voted myself 6 hours of sleep on it. The place where Lee Chu had lived looked like a tenement, but that didn't mean a thing. The Chinese spend their money behind their own doors. You might find 6 families living in 2 rooms, or you might find an apartment a millionaire would be proud of. My name's Mike Hammer. I'd like to talk to Madame Chu.
Please come in. Mr. Hammer, the detective. You were living at Gus Peters,
The Grapevine's very efficient in this neighborhood.
but your job had been finished. You were leaving. Your face, it has been cut.
Oh, a new razor. Madame Chu, your husband was killed the night before last.
No longer than that. Time now means...
Madame Chu, do you have any idea who did it?
The police say perhaps the Tong.
Well, that's a convenient explanation.
These things can still happen. Lee was important in the Tong.
Madame Chu, your husband's business, it was import-export, wasn't it?
Yes. He was very successful. He was a good man, a fine man. But, Mr. Hammer, you did not know him. Why are you interested?
Well, another man was killed last night. Oh, he was not a fine man. He wasn't even much of a man at all. But he thought I was his friend. He asked me to help him.
Who?
A man named Joey. Did you know him?
I think he has begged for me on the street. What has he to do with my husband?
Well, I don't know. Did your husband have any enemies?
No.
Was he away from home very often?
Yes, at the Chinese neighborhood club. He went there on Mondays. He was very well liked. Mr. Hammer, you do not understand. Lee was a happy man. There was nothing. No reason to kill him. No reason.
Well, somebody had a reason.
And you are going to try to find him?
Don't you want me to?
It won't bring Lee back. It's over.
No. No, not while his killer is still free.
Lee is dead. My life is over. Yes. Find out who killed him, Mr. Hammer. I think you will. I'm sure you will.
Madame Chu.
The club was 2 blocks from Chu's place. No different from a dozen other social fraternal gambling rooms in the neighborhood. I'd been in a few. I knew just about what I'd find upstairs, if they let me find it. Ni hao, Ma.
What's on your mind?
Well, this is the Chinese neighborhood club, isn't it? It looks kind of empty.
It's early.
Yeah, what's back there?
Offices.
Sam Wong's office?
Well, he's not there now. You come back around 5 o'clock.
Well, you mind if I just look around?
Only members are permitted in there. You try around 5 o'clock?
Oh, well, sorry, Bud, but I haven't got time.
You want to bet? That's it, Bud. Now make like a top and start walking.
You know, you got the build of a fella I ran into a while back. No hard feelings, though. My name's Mike Hammer. Oh! You know, those knuckles match my cheek. Oh! You know, I dreamed about finding you. Happy landings.
Oh, come in, sir. Come in, yes.
You Wong?
Oh, yes, Sam Wong. Maybe you like play a little Fantan, huh? But must have guest card first.
Yeah, I know. I registered with your recording secretary outside. He's sleeping on it. You know Li Chu?
Oh, Li Chu, him dead.
Yeah, as a 500-year-old egg. Was he playing cards here last Monday night?
Monday night, huh? Oh, 禮拜一、禮拜二、禮拜三、禮拜四、禮拜五. Oh, yes, always Monday.
How much did he win?
Maybe friend at table can tell us.
All these cats here last Monday night?
兄弟啊，句禮拜一晚我佢啦嘛。我佢啦。Yeah, as always Monday.
How much did he win?
兄弟啊，阿李超佢贏高眼啊。
作文啦，佢贏冇叫我3、4蚊佢啦。
哦，3、4蚊，我掉啦。Him say Li Chu win $3, $4. Game is for pleasure, not money.
Yeah, I see that. Did Li Chu leave here alone Monday night?
Oh, yes. But Li Chu, him killed Tuesday night.
Yeah, I know. You wouldn't know anything about that either, would you?
Oh, Li Chu, him very good friend. Maybe by and by we find out.
Uh-huh. What about Joey Stark?
We find out same time. Maybe you go away now. We find out more later. You like tea, rice cake?
Well, that isn't exactly what I had in mind. All right. So long, Wong. I may be back.
Always glad to have guests.
Yeah, well, you tell that to your boys outside here, will you? Hey, Wong, come here.
You can knock off with this no-tiki dialogue. Where'd you graduate, Columbia or Cornell?
The University of California at Berkeley, Mr. Hammer.
Summa cum laude. My visit to Wong's proved a couple of things. Wong's hall boy was one of the goons who had wrung me out in Joey's room. This meant somebody else believed Joey's murder was connected to the Li Chu kill. But how? Pat Chambers figured Chu died in a tong battle. Gus Peters acted as though he'd been warned to keep out of it. But there was something about the whole deal which didn't sound like an Oriental war party to me. I had digging to do. I was glad I had friends south of Bayard Street, just off the Bowery. But all of a sudden, my usual sources of information were drier than Tibet. Old contacts, friends from a hatful of years, developed blank faces and faulty memories. The word was out. Nobody talked to Mike Hammer. There was a faint lead. Li Chu's office. Eddie Chang remembered Chu had worked late that night. Maybe his secretary, Lily Yu, would have a lead. I was only looking for a lead, but what I found could be an answer first try.
Yes? Are you looking for something?
I'm looking at something.
I noticed. How do you do?
How do you do? My name's Mike Hammer.
Are you the police?
Well, no, not exactly. Mrs. Chu sent me.
Then you're investigating her husband's death.
Yeah, and Joey's.
Oh. Gus Peters' friend. I, never met him.
Yeah, but you know Gus.
Gus has been an unsuccessful friend a long time.
Poor Gus.
I try to be kind. He was upset last night about Joey. First Mr. Chu and then Joey.
Did Gus tell you what Joey said?
You mean, so that's who it was?
Yeah, so that's who it was.
I couldn't make anything out of it. Neither could Mrs. Chu, and I passed it on to her.
You talked to Mrs. Chu last night?
Of course. We are good friends. I respect her, and I know how Mr. Chu felt about her.
Maybe you didn't like the way Mr. Chu felt about her.
Look, Mr. Hammer, the police questioned me for 6 hours at headquarters. If there had been anything between me and Mr. Chu, would they have released me?
I wonder why they released you on general principles. Did you have any other chicks on the line?
If he'd wanted to be indiscreet, do you think he would have looked further?
You got a good argument there.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. It was after 4 when I got to headquarters to wangle anything Pat Chambers had dug up. Pat knew less than I did, except for one detail which fitted in perfectly with what I now knew.
Here's the ballistics report. bullet was .22 caliber. Well, how do you figure that? 22. Must have been an amateur.
It's not the size of the lead that counts, Pat. What was in Joey's pockets?
Handkerchief, packet of matches, $3.35 in change. Fresh needle marks on his arm. Well, why should that jolt you? You knew he was a user.
Yeah, I know, but he told me he shook it.
Don't they all?
Yeah? Yeah, of course, certainly. It all adds up.
It does, huh? Well, try me.
Don't push, Pat. You'll get what you want.
So will you. Look, Mike, for once in your life, give me a break. Don't make me go around cleaning up the blood you're itching to spill.
Don't worry about it, Pat. It won't be that way this time.
Don't give me that stuff. Look, Mike, I promise you a conviction on Joey's killer. Just let the police department handle it.
Yeah, okay, I'll call you, Pat.
Come in, Mr. Hammer.
Thank you.
Now?
Oh, yes. Madam Jew, I think I found out a few things.
You did?
Yes. For instance, Joey had $3.35 on him when he died.
Tea?
Thank you. And your husband won about $3 at Sam Wong's.
Oh.
Madam Chu, do you often walk alone in this neighborhood?
Quite often. I know it very well.
Isn't that very dangerous? I mean, shouldn't you carry some kind of protection? A gun, perhaps?
But I do. Lee thought it was safer.
Of course. Madam Chu, this morning you acted as though you'd never heard of Joey. And yet this afternoon, your husband's secretary told me that she'd told you that Joey might know about your husband's death. Now, you wouldn't forget about a thing like that, would you?
No.
Lily, you knew, Gus Peters knew, Sam Wong knew. Everybody knew, as a matter of fact. And everybody was doing everything they could to keep me out of it.
They also knew that the little man was your friend.
Joey. Joey didn't call me to beat a murder rap. I think he wanted me to go with him to the police.
I believe that.
But his conscience took him back to the alley. Back to the alley where he killed your husband. Madam Chu, you asked me to find the man who killed your husband. But you didn't really mean that, because you'd already found him.
I was there to see the spot where Lee died. I saw this man, Joey, saw how he acted. I remembered what Lily had told me.
Madam Chu, Joey was on the junk. Well, that's not to excuse him, you understand, but, well, there had to be a reason.
I know. When I spoke to Joey, he broke down, and it all came out. He said it was an accident. You see, a week before, someone had given him money, enough to get him started. And when he ran out, he became desperate and sick. He met Lee in the alley by accident. He begged him for $1. Lee refused, and in the struggle...
And Joey knifed him.
Yes, it was Lee's knife. Somehow in the struggle, Joey got the knife away from Lee.
Joey kept the knife. That's what your friends were looking for in Joey's room when I walked in on them. They wanted to get rid of it so there'd be no connection to you.
Afterwards, he took Lee's money. But that wasn't why he killed him. He killed him because he...
He killed him because he was sick.
He never knew who Lee was until the next day. So that's who it was, he said.
And you shot him.
He killed my husband. How could I let him live? Mr. Hammer, do you know what this symbol means? Yin and yang?
Yes, I think so. It means man and woman, life and death, one and inseparable.
Yes. You see, I am quite ready. I only wanted time to compose myself.
I'm sure the police will be very understanding when they hear your story.
What would you have done if I refused to go to them?
I don't know. Maybe you shot the wrong man. You see, I'm the big-hearted guy who gave Joey that $5 bill.